When we're going through a crisis, it's never easy to see the other side. But I've had to go through crisis my entire life. That's just part of the journey. It's part of reinventing yourself. It's part of being alive, right? We go through life, and life is about having to iterate all the time. I had to iterate in a big way when I was 23 because I'd made decisions when I was 20 that put me in the crosshairs of prosecutors, and I went to prison. Then I got out of prison. And when I got out of prison, I was in a different position because all the steps that I took while serving my sentence really put me on a pathway for a life that I wanted to lead. And that life was about working to help more people transform their life. It's about making an impact on the lives of millions of people, not one. But that requires a methodical strategy. And that strategy is one that I used to get through 9,500 days in prison. It's one that I've been using through almost 10 years of being free. And it always included doing journaling. It always included writing every day, what steps am I taking? How am I advancing the ball? And if you focus on success that way, you can achieve success as you define it. Might not be the same as everybody else defines it. You've got to define it for yourself, and it's not the same for everybody. I have friends that run businesses with several hundred employees, and that's very fulfilling for them. They've got big revenues. They've got big responsibilities. For me, as somebody who served multiple decades in prison, it's a different path. I really value working to try and change the lives of 1 million people that are incarcerated, serving sentences that, in my view, are far too long. And I want to give them a pathway so that when they come home, they can land on their feet. I want to give them a pathway that might end the intergenerational cycles of recidivism that plague our country. That's what success is for me, and it requires a series of methodical steps, but I'm still journaling. That's what I want you to be thinking about while you're in prison. What is the strategy that you are using that's going to help you succeed as you define success? Let's turn to today's journal that I am writing, and I hope that it'll challenge you to think about what are you doing with your life today, regardless of what stage of the journey you're in. So here's today's journal for July the 10th, 2023. Our course, Preparing for Success After Prison, includes 10 modules. Number 1 is to define success. Number 2 is to set goals. Number 3 is to push forward with 100% commitment, which reflects the right attitude. Number 4 is to aspire to something more than you're experiencing today. Number 5 is to act in ways that harmonize with how you define success. Number 6 is to measure progress with the accountability metrics that you create. Number 7 is to keep aware of opportunities and make others aware of your progress. Number 8 is to be authentic, building your tools, your tactics, and your resources that lead to success. Number 9 is to celebrate the small, incremental achievements that will lead to new opportunities. You've got to live in gratitude is number 10, appreciating the blessings that come your way. Today, July the 10th, 2023, I am celebrating a new achievement. I see the Bureau of Prisons asked us to expand our program into a 30-hour course. I worked hard to complete a new workbook. That way, all students in the program receive a copy of the workbook. The workbook allows participants to learn from each lesson, regardless of where they are confined. Yesterday, I completed a supplementary resource. I recorded a video of every lesson. That milestone allows me to work toward the next step. To comply with security matters, I will contract a manufacturer to convert the 12 hours of video footage into a new DVD set. While the manufacturer produces the DVDs, I will work on completing a facilitator guide and a train the trainer video. I expect to complete both projects this week. I share this information in my journal and distribute the daily journals to our community members because I want them to see that I follow the principles described in our course. Every day, I work towards small steps aligning with my definition of success. And how do I define it? Bullet point. I want to persuade administrators and legislators that we can improve the outcomes of our nation's criminal justice system by incentivizing excellence. With incentives, we can help more people use their time in prison to prepare for success upon release. If we prepare more people for success upon release, we improve the culture of confinement. We save taxpayer resources, and we lower intergenerational cycles of recidivism. So how do you define success? In what ways do your daily goals move you closer to success? By defining success, I set a series of goals to work toward. Each of those goals aligns with what I am striving to accomplish. By working every day, I accelerate my pathway to new opportunities. Now that I have completed the video series, I can move on to my next set of goals. While I served my sentence, I read books about leaders. And from those books, I learned this values-based, goal-oriented adjustment strategy. Since the strategy helped me emerge from prison successfully, I strive to share the systematic process with every person in our audience. But I also close these journals with an invitation for others to join our community. We invite any justice-impacted person to memorialize their efforts to prepare for success after release. For those willing to record why they have engineered an extraordinary and compelling release plan, we invite them to send an email to Prison Professors Charitable Corporation at 32565 Golden Lantern Street, Box B-1019 in sunny Dana Point, California, 92629. We had to list a phone number for 818, so we got 818-237-3460. And of course, the email is interns@prisonprofessorstalent.com. People in the community who have access to the internet can visit Prison Professors Talent and see how we are using it to profile the many people in prison who are engineering their release plans. Those release plans show why they are extraordinary and compelling, and the profiles they build show why reforms that incentivize the pursuit of excellence benefits everyone in society. Each step accelerates progress, allowing us to be the change we want to see in the world. And so I want you to be thinking about whether this is a good pathway for you, right? I spoke about this workbook right here. It's Preparing for Success After Prison, and this is the new BOP's web book. It's a 30-hour program, and it is already First Step Act approved. So this is a PSAP, the Century Code is PSAP, but you see it's a rather extensive workbook that's teaching people strategies they can use to emerge successfully. And the only reason that I think it has currency is because people are seeing it came from somebody who didn't just talk about it, but somebody who did it. You know, it's like you could go to a travel agent who will help you book a ticket and buy something, or you could go to a tour guide, somebody who's been through it and knows the strategies. At Prison Professors, I never ask anybody to do anything I didn't personally do while going through 9,500 days in prisons. I made some really bad decisions in the beginning, such as not accepting responsibility, going to trial, perjuring myself on the witness stands. Those were very bad decisions that exacerbated my problems. But once I went to prison, I started to make a series of really good decisions, and I would love to say I came up with them on my own, but the reality is those were decisions that I learned from Socrates and Viktor Frankl and Nelson Mandela and so many other leaders, and it's what we pass along to others. My name is Michael Santos. I am the founder of Prison Professors, and I believe in you.